Ange.
Morning, mate.
How do you reflect on last night and all of the scenes at the full-time whistle?
Yeah, not a lot of time for reflection, mate. We got back at 2 a.m, so same way I felt last night, I guess. It was a disappointing night, and yeah, we've got a lot of work to do.
There was clearly a very small section of fans very unhappy with the full-time whistle, but heading into such an important game this weekend, do you feel like you've got the majority of the support behind you?
Well, not behind me, mate. They're behind the club. I've got no interest in who's behind me. It's and look, last night, you got to figure the ones who travelled to Bournemouth are fairly hardcore supporters, so they weren't happy with what they saw, and like I said, they felt like they needed to give some feedback. I took the feedback on board, and we move on.
And how challenging is it to get out of this period and get through this period, considering how stretched the squad is right now?
Yeah, look, that's to one side. We know that. We kind of knew that going in, and I think that's put to one side. For me, the disappointment last night was there was a repeat of, sort of cycle of us going into games and, starting well enough, but then allowing the opposition to get a grip on it by either, conceding a sloppy goal like we did last night or not taking our opportunities. And we need to break that cycle, irrespective of kind of where we're at the moment. We know we're really thin on the ground in terms of squad numbers. We know that there's not a lot of opportunity there to rotate and rest players. We obviously paid the price with Benny last night, but they're known things. What also is known is that we've repeatedly sort of shot ourselves in the foot in those kind of games like last night, and we need to change that.
In terms of team news, how long do you think Ben will be out for? And is there any chance that Christian Romero can train in the next 2 days ahead of Sunday?
Yeah, Ben, too early again, mate. He'll probably go for a scan today. So, like I said, we're talking sort of 10 hours after last night's game. So we'll find out more. Kuti's due to train. We're not doing much today, but we'll see how he goes tomorrow.
Disappointing result last night, of course, but looking ahead to this weekend, you produced some of your best performances so far this season against some of the bigger teams, of course, wins over the likes of Manchester City United. Another big one to come on Sunday. I just wonder how much of an opportunity could this game against Chelsea be to display the best of what your team is all about in front of your home fans?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but again, that won't eliminate what happened last night. Like you said, we've done well against, the sort of teams up the top end of the table this year. Not just wins, but played really well. Whether that's City or United away or Villa at home. But it doesn't eliminate what happened last night, and that still needs to be addressed. That to one side, like you said, it's a big game on Sunday. They're obviously going really well, Chelsea. They're in a good space at the moment with a fairly healthy squad and in good form. Always a tough game against them, but we are at home, and we need to make sure we produce a performance like we have in the other games. That have been similar to get something out of it.
I know you spoke earlier this week about being conscious not to overload your players so that the energy levels don't drop. I mean, this is an incredibly busy month. There's more much 7 league games for you in total. How do you go about ensuring that performance levels from here on in are where you want them to be at?
Just by continually to try and prepare the players the best we can. Like I said, we're obviously stretched thin in terms of the squad, and losing Benny last night doesn't help that. We've got European games, we've got Carabao Cup in there as well, so, we've just got to try and manage and prepare the players the best we can to make sure we get maximum performance out of it.
You talked about, in your own words, the direct feedback that you received from some fans last night. What is your message to them right now ahead of what is a big weekend to come?
As I said last night, no messages. I'm here. I'm going to fight to make sure we bring success to this football club. Nothing really changes. Where there's doubt, whether that's internally or externally, it just gives my resolve even stronger to make sure we get it right.
Hi Ange, hope you're well. What you were saying there.
Did you have to read that? Hope you're well. No,
that's right.
You can just. Okay, thanks, mate.
You mentioned there about being determined to bring success to this football club. Does it concern you that the
fans aren't necessarily seeing the progress that you get to see from every day and training with the players?
Again, the supporters are the supporters. They're invested in this club. You know, whoever's in charge, whichever the playing group is, and they will, you know, feel what they feel. Whether they can see what we're trying to do or they can't see what we're trying to do. You know, I can't change that materially without there being evidence on the pitch that they can see. Now, if they can't see it at the moment, then it's up to me to make sure that they do see that.
And you mentioned about the cycle the group are in terms of starting games well and then letting teams back into it. Have you managed to get to the bottom of why the team are struggling in terms of that inconsistency?
No, not yet, but we'll keep sort of searching for those answers. Look, some of it in sport is just around, you know, a competitive squad where you know, there's competition for places that keeps people on edge all the time. We don't have that at the moment. Haven't had that for a while. So, but within the absence of that, we've got to find other ways to make sure the players are clear on their responsibilities.
And lastly, you asked about Kingmin's son earlier this week. I know his contract is coming up towards the end of the season. How important is he still to his squad, and is he someone you'd like to keep going forward?
Right now, all I care about is Sunday. I couldn't care about people's contracts. I couldn't care about their situations. What I care about is Sunday, and I want to make sure that we have a group of players Sunday ready to go out there and fight.
That's great.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Ali. Sorry, just.
Sorry that this is too personal or anything, but I just wonder, after a defeat like that and a tough time that you're going through in terms of kind of finding solutions to this, is that something you kind of process yourself? Is that something you kind of work with your coaches or a trusted circle that you kind of works with?
Nah, it's me, mate. It's me.
Just take it on yourself.
Well, it's me. I'm the one responsible for it. There's no point in the toughest moments, you know, palming off the responsibility to other people. I'm the person in charge. I'm the person that's set us off in this direction, and I'm the person that needs to fix it.
I just wanted to ask you, I know it's going back to transfers again, but you've always owned the signings that you've made. You've always been the one that's approved them. You've always been very clear on that as well. I guess this is a hindsight thing as well. But going back, I mean, the club has spent, it's approaching, I guess, 100 million on teenagers. I mean, I know that's so bright for the long-term future, but does that make it more difficult for you in the short term now, especially when you've got so many players out that you're having to rely on such young players?
It's still the right decision. I will always, and I own them because I believe they're the right decisions for this football club. And, you know, I've said numerous times, I make these decisions with the kind of background that, you know what, I'm going to be here for a while to make sure we see it through. You know, to be honest, if I was worried about my own existence, I would have fought tooth and nail to block Harry Kane leaving the football club, but it wasn't the right decision for the club because he was in the last year of his contract. So that's not what drives me. The decisions we made around signing the young players are the right decisions for this football club for where we're at right now, and they will bear fruit.
I think it's just maybe from the outside, it feels like you've lost a lot of experience.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have, but we needed to do that. We needed to do that because there was a team that was coming to the end of the cycle, and you know, we were rebuilding not just a squad, a playing style, and you couldn't replace experience with experience because that's not a rebuild. That's kind of topping up because you feel like you're close to something. We weren't close to anything.
Just to slightly go against what I just said, but Archie Gray last night, obviously threw a lot at, or you didn't, the circumstances threw a lot at him. How did you feel he dealt with what he had to take on?
He'll be better for it. It was a good experience for him. It wasn't easy. It was tough. Like I said, we're playing him in, you know, particularly when we had to put him at centre back, but it'll do him the world of good. It'll make him a better player and you know, a stronger personality for our football club.
Finish the section with George, please.
Hi, you copped some really unacceptable views last night, and there's a lot of frustration with the fans with the results. Even though there's 8 players out, you also want to win every week. It's 1 win in 6. How much are you sort of hurting right now with this feeling?
Yeah, I'm not hurting. I'm determined. That's all. I don't want to say it's unacceptable because, like I said, it is what it is. I've lived in this world for long enough to know that when people are unhappy, they'll express their opinions, and I'm never going to hide. I'm never going to shirk that responsibility. That's fine. You know, I'll take on board. Is it nice? No, because like I said last night, I'm not just a manager. I'm a human being like everyone else. None of us likes to hear those sort of things, but it is what it is. It doesn't disappoint me. It doesn't frustrate me. It doesn't make me angry. I'm just as determined as ever to get it right. Not because of that, but because of my resolve to bring success to the football club.
And how much do you kind of feel supported right now? It's obviously a difficult time with the players out, you know, Thursday to Sunday cycle, but you did sign a 4-year deal, Roman and Gilda Day. Do you kind of feel the support from the
I don't need support, mate. I don't worry about contracts. I don't worry about support. I just want to make sure that what I set out to do, I accomplish, and that is, like I keep saying, bring success to this football club. I'll work my backside off to make sure that happens. I'm not going to be deterred in my ambitions or endeavour to do that, and that's what I'll keep doing.